Dr. Vegapunk will make the Straw Hat stronger and will probably happen in Wano. Also, this video has manga spoilers, but this one doesn't. A long time ago, there was an illegal science group known as the Mads, and it included some of the smartest people we know in the story: Vince Smoke Judge, Caesar Clown, and Queen the Plague. But the last known person in the group is Dr. Vegapunk, the person that's been hyped up to be by far the smartest person in the world. But unlike the other three, Vegapunk has actually shown morality, and there's a good chance that he ends up as an ally. So in this video, I'll be explaining why I think Vegapunk will help the Straw Hats and how he can help the Straw Hats, specifically improving Chopper's Rumple Ball, unlocking Sanji's Germa potential, giving Frankie some super upgrades, and even more on top of that. But first, please remember, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you want more videos, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. But anyways, let's start by discussing Vegapunk and why I think he'll be arriving in Wano. Throughout the Wano arc so far, there have been a variety of things that are connected to Vegapunk. Momonosuke ate his devil fruits, which was supposed to be a failure. Orochi requested for him when bargaining with the world government, and oh yeah, he experimented on Kaido. That just scratches the surface of the many connections of Vegapunk to Wano, because there's still plenty of other little things like the numbers, which were failed ancient giant experiments by Vegapunk. And what's really important about this is that all of these connections are plot lines with some pretty big questions, like what are the true powers of Momonosuke's devil fruits and why did Vegapunk lie about it? Why did Orochi want Vegapunk from the world government in the first place? And just how many things did Vegapunk experiment on in Punk Hazard? Some of these questions can get answered in another way, like a Kaido flashback, but Vegapunk arriving in Wano could resolve all of it. There are also a number of other reasons of why I think Vegapunk will come to Wano, like Tashigi, Sentomaru, and the SSG, and if you want a full breakdown on it, you can check out this video I did previously. Now, assuming he does come to Wano, the next question is, why would he help the Straw Hats? And put simply, I think he's gonna be an ally. Although he works for the world government, I think the general vibe he's given off so far is that at least he's a nice guy. During his early years, he used his powers for good, helping the people of his hometown with his technology. He showed morality with his experiments, going against Caesar's chemical weapons and refusing to involve children. And also Kuma trusts him, so that must mean something. In my opinion, it seems at his core, Vegapunk is a good person and just got caught by the world government and now has to work for them. And because of that, I think he'll eventually become an ally, whether that's through the Revolutionary Army or Sword. But those are just predictions. The one thing that I know is almost guaranteed to happen is Vegapunk interacting with the Straw Hats. Not only is that the main way a character gets involved in the story, but Vegapunk also has several connections to the Straw Hats. And I think with many of these connections, it could lead to Vegapunk helping the Straw Hats get stronger. Let's start by discussing Sanji, whose powers have drastically changed since Whole Cake Island. First off, there's the Raid Suit, a suit developed by the Germa with many capabilities like enhanced speed and durability, flight and invisibility, and this is now something that Sanji is finally using to make himself stronger. And because the Raid Suit is made of technology, Vegapunk could definitely improve it, especially considering he previously worked with Judge and is connected to Sanji because of it. In a way, Judge would have never been able to modify his kids if he never discovered the lineage factor by working with Vegapunk. So I think that's a conversation that Sanji and Vegapunk have to have, and it could lead to Vegapunk feeling bad and helping Sanji get stronger. With Sanji's Raid Suit, I could see Vegapunk upgrading all the base stats to another level, making Sanji stronger and faster. Maybe he can incorporate even more technology that enhances Sanji's combat style. And this is where the new information we got from One Piece chapter 1023 elevates things even more. In chapter 1023, Sanji said that since using the Raid Suit, his body started feeling a little weird. On top of that, there's dialogue between Sanji and Queen where Queen hints that Sanji's fire abilities come from genetic modification and that he might have some Lunarian genes within him. Now, I haven't talked too much about this Sanji Lunarian theory, but I'm not as strong on it as some other people are. It's definitely possible that Sanji's powers come from some sort of lineage factor modification, but at the same time, fire is a pretty common ability we've seen from many other people. Luffy is one of them, as we've seen with his Red Hawk attack. We also have Kinemon with his Fox Fire style, which Zoro was able to recently learn. So overall, fire is just not that unique of an ability. Plus, the first time we saw Sanji using Diable Jambe, it was pretty clearly due to him spinning and not just him bursting into flames like he could do now. So right now, I'm not really sold on Sanji having Lunarian genes within him, but I could see it as being possible. But what I do believe though is that Sanji was a successful Germa project, and really the only successful one because he was the only one to keep his emotions. We saw firsthand that without the Raid Suit, Sanji was able to body Yonji. So clearly, although Sanji doesn't have the crazy exoskeleton, he is incredibly strong. But now that he's used the Raid Suit and his body started to feel a little weird, maybe some of those abilities like the durable exoskeleton is being activated. And once again, this is where Vegapunk can also help him, whether that's fully unlocking Sanji's Germa abilities or just giving him some information so he knows what the hell's going going on. But moving on from that, another interaction we have to see is Franky and Vegapunk, because indirectly, Vegapunk trained Franky during the time skip. During the time skip, Franky was sent to Karakuri Island, where Vegapunk was from, and that's where he discovered Vegapunk's old lab that gave him inspiration for a lot of his upgrades. So this interaction has to go down, at least for Vegapunk to see Franky using his technology. But also, you have to remember, although this technology is very advanced, this was stuff Vegapunk came up with a long time ago. So for sure, Vegapunk has come up with a lot more dangerous and powerful new weapons that he could tell Franky about. Also, I can already see a scenario where Franky's like showing off and flexing to General Franky, and Vegapunk's just like, oh yeah, I remember that. I made that when I was like 9 years old. Also, let's not forget Franky blew up his old lab, and it was a pretty big deal. They even named it the Nightmare of Baltimore. So I'm sure that's another conversation that Vegapunk and Franky will have with each other. Now, as far as specific upgrades go, I think Franky's energy consumption is probably his weakest point, because it's pretty wild that he's firing off all these crazy attacks while still just using cola. So that's one way Vegapunk could help him, and I can also see him teaching Franky about some advanced weaponry that's based on Devil Fruit abilities. Because right now, Franky's still pretty old school with guns and rocket launchers, and I like to see Vegapunk upgrade him with some newer tech. But besides Franky, Nami and Usopp can also get a lot of help from Vegapunk because they also use weapons. Nami's power is pretty much all solely based on a weapon with her Climattack, and with the Climattack, I'll be interested to see how much Vegapunk knows about Sky Island technology, because it seems like the world government haven't really touched that realm. At the same time, I feel like Vegapunk is going to be curious about all technology, and he probably knows about it, and even if he doesn't know about it, I can see him figuring it out just by looking at it. As far as how Vegapunk can improve the Climattack, it's gonna be kinda difficult. With Zeus included, Nami's Climattack is already pretty damn strong and unique. The one thing I could see is some improved durability to it using either Wapol Metal or maybe even Sea Stone, but at the same time, Sea Stone might not work anymore because Zeus is a Devil Fruit power and he's gonna get weakened, and also because Zeus is a Devil Fruit power, I don't see another Devil Fruit being incorporated into the Climattack. Usopp, on the other hand, that Kabuto, that could definitely eat a Devil Fruit, and that might be something Vegapunk helps him with because he was the one to discover how to put Devil Fruits within weapons. But even besides that, Usopp just uses a lot of gadgets in his arsenal, and although I think eventually he won't really need to rely on that, right now he could definitely use all the help he can get. And if Vegapunk really decides to help Usopp, he could get some major upgrades because he's still using like fireworks and hot sauce. Of course, he has his pop greens as well, but even with that, we saw against page 1 it was completely useless. So hopefully Vegapunk could gear him out a little more because he definitely needs more firepower. Beyond just technology though, Vegapunk also has a great understanding of Devil Fruits. He's made many scientific breakthroughs like recreating Kaido's fruits, making Devil Fruit weapons, and even replicating Devil Fruit abilities like Kizaru's lasers with the pacifistas. Personally, I even believe that the SSG is related to Devil Fruit science. But when it comes to the Straw Hats, there are several Devil Fruit users that could definitely get some help. And let's actually start by talking about Chopper, because he's also now got a connection with Vegapunk through Caesar. And that's because, as we saw recently, Caesar modified Chopper's Rumple Balls to allow him to last way longer in monster form. But as a result, there's this side effect of him turning into a baby Gramps Chopper. So that's definitely something Vegapunk could fix up. As a matter of fact, I don't know if anybody else could fix that, because clearly this was science above Chopper's understanding, and I don't expect him to figure out something that Caesar couldn't even figure out. So for me, this is another reason for Vegapunk coming to Wano and helping the Straw Hats. But with the Rumple Balls, Vegapunk could also explain what they are doing, because there's been a lot of questions on whether or not Monster Point is awakening. When Chopper first explained it, he described it as transforming Devil Fruit powers to give him more forms, but there should be a better explanation of what the Rumple Balls are actually doing. Is it like manipulating his Devil Fruit, or is it actually changing his body? Personally, I don't think Monster Point is awakening. I think it might be like a forced awakening, which I think happened to the Jailer Beasts, but whatever it is, hopefully Vegapunk could provide some answers and fix Chopper's Rumple Balls, and maybe he actually knows more about Devil Fruit awakening and could give Chopper some hints about how to do it on his own. Another person Vegapunk could have some answers for is Luffy, but it's not really related to power. As we know, Luffy's Devil Fruit was previously owned by the world government, but we still have no answers as to why the government had it. And because Vegapunk works for the world government, maybe he has some answers. Was it actually a crazy powerful ancient fruit, or is there something specific that the world government wanted it for? I don't expect to get the full answer on this, because I think we'll get that when we finally meet Shanks, but this could be another minor plotline that connects Vegapunk to the Straw Hats. As for power-ups though, Brook and Robin could get some helpful knowledge as well. As much as I want both Robin and Brook to get Haki, powering up their Devil Fruits seem like their main progression right now, and Vegapunk can definitely guide them. Like I mentioned, Vegapunk knows a lot lot about devil fruits, so he might know how to maximize their powers or maybe even awakening. Robin's mysterious devil form, we still have no clue what that is. Hopefully we'll get some explanation on that soon, but I'm guessing that's definitely gonna be part of her power progression towards awakening her devil fruits. And with this, I don't expect Vegapunk to help as much as he can with Sanji, Frankie, and Chopper, but he can definitely drop some quick insight to help guide them. And then we have Zoro and Jinbei, who Vegapunk probably can't help at all. I'm gonna flip this coin. If you guess it wrong, you have to subscribe and watch that video. It's heads.